Smokemaster D here. I wanted to talk you through some modifications that I have made to my offset smoker. On the thumbnail you saw, a warning, you should watch this first. And that's because as I've gone along, I've learned some things that I want to pass on to you. I don't have any experience with any of these things, so, complete newbie, rookie. So if you wanted to modify your smoker, I want you to know that you can do it. One of the main things I have here is the door of the Firebox. So it came without a back door when I ordered it from Craig, and now here it is. See, I've got this here. Maybe not the best one, but it works. I love it. I want to show you a little bit about it. I spent a very long time cutting that door out. And to do it, I used this. This is a angle grinder, and this is a diamond cutting wheel. I believe it was somewhere around $45. I went down to Lowe's and picked it up. I also have a grinding disc here, so I used that as well. I learned a lot about using this cutting tool. I actually bought it when I took the plate out of the smoker. There was a plate right in here, right in this area, like all in this area, and I first bought that to cut it out. Now, how to use it. So when you're using the cutting disc, this thing is actually made to cut through metal, right? But there's ways that you can do it that is not the best way, and I spent a long time doing it the wrong way, right? When you're cutting with it, you want to go like this with sort of a sawing motion, and you don't want to tip it from side to side. You want it to be just as straight as possible and try to saw through and let this wheel spin as fast as it can to create as many sparks as it can to do what it's supposed to do. Now I did it to the side and to the side, and when you do that, it gets a lot of, it'll catch on this and it'll jump, and that's not great. But the other thing is it builds up a lot of heat in the metal, a lot of heat in the blade. All those things are really not so good for the whole process. It slows it down. It it makes the metal harder, so you have harder metal to get through. You just want to go back and forth like this with this thing and just have the least amount touching it right here on the edge. And that's going to cut faster. I think it took a whole lot longer than it should have because I wasn't doing it the right way. On there. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is some of the safety gear. So these are the safety goggles that I started with, right? And they seem like they should be pretty substantial. And even when I put them on my face here, they look like they cover my face really well. But these slits right here are openings, right? I eventually went to these here, and these ones, you see they got this stuff, they were $30. You might think that $30 is a lot for these kind of safety glasses, but they hug the entirety of my face here, right? They're hugging my face, no sort of opening. And I was using this disc here, which is the grinding disc. So I was doing some grinding, and I ground out steel for a few reasons, but it was when I was grinding down a lip So before I can go to the store, and while I'm waiting for the men to stop working on my roof, I am grinding down the lip, still a little hot there, that is here at the collector. Sometimes, you know, liquid will gather here, and I just wanted to be able to run right off. One of the sparks, just sparks going everywhere, it jumped in, and it actually went into my eye. I'm going to show you a picture of that. It was really a scary kind of thing, because, you know, at the time it was just like I thought that I got something in my eye somehow, or it was upset. So, you know, I was trying to rub out whatever was in my eye, but it didn't rub out. It was still there, and it was still sore. And you know, like for that entire afternoon, until I decided, my wife helped me decide to go see a doctor. So I went to the doctor's office, and he looked at it, and he could tell right away that, yeah, there was metal in my eye. So he stuck a needle in there, right? If you've never had a needle stuck in your eye, it is incredibly uncomfortable. It's, you know, it's one of those things you kind of sit through like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Fortunately, you don't have any nerve endings in the eye itself, like in the actual ball. So it's not like it hurt. It's like having your hair cut or your nails trimmed, right? You know, if they pull on your hair or whatever, that's uncomfortable. Same thing, like if the needle's going around and it's in your eye, uncomfortable for like where it connects, but it didn't actually hurt, so to say. And he had to go in there like a couple of times. And when he was doing that, he was reopening the wound. So I had to get drops and everything. He got the metal out. I was really fortunate because if the point of entry had been over my pupil, the scar, which it's a little white scar, and I'll show you that, it would have obscured my vision. And I don't know that there would have been any way to actually fix that. So I would have had vision loss. But fortunately, it was a little bit above the pupil, and I pretty much walk away scot-free. Very thankful to God for that, but that's how that happened. So definitely recommend safety first. These goggles, I went out, bought these goggles right away after the incident, and I feel a lot safer with them. So also have, you know, ear protection, and I spent a lot of time wearing this just to protect my mouth. Probably should have switched it out some. It's getting pretty dirty. Probably gonna throw it away. I saved it so I could show y'all. Yeah. So let's go back though. Here. So one of the things that I did when I was cutting out the door was I left a couple of places to keep the door in place. All right, from here you can see pretty well where I left the tabs. Right there, and right there. Kind of there. And then it came to welding on the hinges. And I didn't know anything about welding. I actually had my father-in-law give me a little tutorial about it. These hinges I just bought online. I think they look cooler than the bullet hinges. If I'd done bullet hinges, these flanges would have to be inside rather than outside, which, you know, that's fine. But so I did these instead, and over here we have my father-in-law's welding machine. I have no idea when he got it. You know, here's this, it plugs in. So connect this to the metal. Basically, electricity is passing through here in a circuit from here through your metal to there and creating a whole bunch of heat that's melting the metal, right? This, press the button and it comes out. It's a flex core, so as this heats up, it releases a gas that's inside the metal itself, and inside that gas is where the actual welding happens, because if it doesn't have that protective gas, the weld gets corrupted. So, I learned all that doing all this, and then I have this from my father-in-law as well. Can't see jack through this thing. There are a lot of nice high-tech helmets that you put it on, it has batteries, some of them you charge, and it lets you see, and it automatically darkens when the weld happens, right? Because you don't want to look at the glare of the weld because it'll ruin your eyes. So, I put this thing on, right? And I can't see anything. And I'm holding this thing to the metal and trying to get it to do what you want it to do. I'm not an expert welder, but when you put this thing on and you're welding, you're trying to make a pool. And the pool of that metal is kind of like glue. So you're trying to sort of glue things together with the pool of the metal that you kind of see as you go along. But I was concerned about my ability to weld. You see these nice welds here, right here. They look nice. That's not me. That is my Porch BBQ. He's a fellow YouTuber, somebody local to the Winston-Salem area just like me. Had him come out. Super nice guy. He came and he did the welding on these for me. So yeah, I didn't have the flanges on here yet. So you can see the metal pretty well. I got a bar and went straight through here, tried to make it line up. It wasn't quite as thick as the holes though, so I don't think it actually worked out entirely that way. And probably somebody else would be better to tell you about how to make this happen right. But you can see that there's actually space in between here. Like this up here is actually sitting on it. This down here is not. I'm thinking about putting maybe a few more washers in here. Maybe taking that washer and putting it down there, so that this is actually resting on something and helping to support the weight, because it's not right now. So it's all the weight's up here. But apparently it's working. It's doing what it needs to do. But I would feel a little bit better about that. So maybe I'll do that. Let's take a look at this for a second. I actually bought these from Mystic Smokers as well, and I welded those on, these handles, so that I can use this as a grill better. I'm gonna hold it like that, and then I can come in here and go down like that. So if I want to grill like really close to the coals, I can have it down there. And then I can pull it back up there as I desire to do so. Alright. So this is what Craig sent with this Firebox for me. It is a great for having the wood on. You know, your wood on there, your fire on there. Decided I wasn't a fan. Decided I wanted to cook on the bottom of the Firebox, right? The other thing that I added here is this, and this is a stopper, right? So push it like that, comes out. This is the ash door. So see that it actually goes down to the bottom out, so I can sweep out my ash whenever I want to. The thing about it was like Craig wanted to use that sort of as an extra damper, which kind of limited the fire to being more over here. and kind of cut down on the space the fire could be. Or if you had the fire over it, then you had like embers falling down through, which I had that sort of problem. I put a can under there, but you know, I spent a lot of time grinding to get this down here, so that it was a little bit better for this just to come in. I kind of have to finagle it around to get it how I want it. I welded this in here, so that it's in here. It's not the best, but I do think that it is there for now. Really hard to weld in this circle. Very hard, very difficult. But I did it. And so I can use this and create the fire here with this natural curve, sort of bringing everything together. So that's what I liked. I've used it once like that and really enjoyed it. So, you know, still have that there. I ordered this handle assembly from Mystic Smokers. I got it here, welded it on. So you have to drill out the hole there and weld it through. Alright, the other part I wanted to show you is this L-shaped thing that I have as the latch. So just a couple parts of round bar, and we welded those on. My Porch BBQ did. I added a little bit more to the weld, and of course this is also welded on here. And then this part here is where I put on this first bar here, and then I kind of leaned that up. Throughout this whole process I've had these magnets, and they've been great. The one thing that you have to be wary of is if you get the magnets hot, they do lose their magneticism. So, you know, and it was a hard thing getting that thing to lean up the way we wanted it to. But we leaned it up and welded it on there, and added some more welding here to kind of get it there. And so, you know, the door part, it has a little bit of give and going in, but we got it to the point where, you know, the action of putting that down pulls the bar all the way in and makes it so it's fairly tight. Now, you can see a little bit of light there, right? This thing's not airtight, and if I wanted to put some gasket around there, I could. I'm not that worried about it. This back door, truth be told, is the least place that you really need airtight, so much so that you know, Aaron Franklin, he has, you know, his name there open the entire time, can't close at all. So, you know, this is where air comes in. You need air coming in, not a big deal. I did do the flanging, right? And, you know, worked my way around there. All right, I'm continuing to add the flanging to my door. This is the next piece. Wanted to show you, I've cleaned it up, you see. Cleaned it up there. But I've put these notches in there, and when I'm welding it, I'm gonna weld into the notches, and I think that that's gonna give me more and better adhesion there of the steel to the side. So I'm gonna get that clamped on, and then I'm gonna weld it. I welded the pieces together. I know, you're looking at this welding and you're probably like, man, that's terrible. But that's as good as I could do. You know, I'm not a welder. I gave it a try. And I'm not that disappointed, you know. I could grind these down. I could grind all this down, but I like it. You know, it reminds me of my effort and what I did to make this. So there it is. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. I did it. Thanks for watching. Go get your smoke on, y'all.